Hi everyone. Today we are discussing unfair trade practices and product liability under CPA 2019. This is an act landmark legislation aimed at protecting consumer rights in India. My name is Bharat, Chandan, Prerit, Miral and Kavya are the group members, and we will guide you through this topic covering its key aspects and implication. Introduction. My name is Bharat. The Consumer Protection Act 2019 or CPA 2019 was enacted to replace the outdated 1986 Act. It addresses modern consumer challenges including unfair trade practices and product liability. With the rise of e-commerce and digital fraud, CPA 2019 ensured stronger legal background for consumers. This act is a significant step toward ethical business conduct and consumer empowerment. Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself I am Prerit. Today I am presenting an overview of CPA 2019. CPA 2019 replaces the 1986 Act to address modern consumers' challenges. Introduced new provisions like product liability and unfair trade practices in e-commerce. Faster and more efficient residential mechanism. The Act also introduces a Central Consumer Protection Authority (CCPA) to regulate consumer rights. Overview of CPA 2019 tells about the introduced several new provisions to address modern customer challenges. It replaces 1986 Act to adopt the changing marketplace including e-commerce and digital fraud key features including uh, faster residential mechanism and the establishment of the Central Consumer Protection Authority, which regulates consumer rights. This act empowers consumers to take legal action against unfair practices and defective products. And next slide is unfair trade practices. Unfair trade practices refers to deceptive, dishonest, or unethical business practices prohibited under CPA 2019. Examples we can see misleading advertisements, false representation on goods and services, hoarding or black marketings. The Act defines unfair trade practices broad include digital fraud and misleading online apps. Unfair of trade practices refers to descriptive and dishonest or unethical business practices prohibited under 2019. It includes advertising, goods, and black marketing. The Act defines unfair trade practices broadly to include digital fraud and misleading online promotions, ensuring consumer protections in the digital age.
Hello everyone, I'm Chandan Bhatt. I'm going to explain about the case study on unfair trade practices. First one is misleading ads in the tobacco industry. Tobacco companies like Philip Morris use terms like light or mild to falsely suggest certain cigarettes were safer. They were also targeted youth smoking cartoon mosquitoes and denied links between the smoking and health risks for decades. In this case, in 2006, US federal court found tobacco companies guilty of deceiving the public about smoking dangers. In the case US versus Philip Morris USA Incorporation. The second one is impact on the consumers and businesses. On the consumers suffered health issues misled into this unsafe choices and face risking medical cost. For the businesses, the cost is lost consumer trust and faced declining sales and dealt with the stricter regulations. And third one is legal consequences of deceptive practices. In these, heavy fines and class action lawsuits and advertising restrictions in the companies, and regulatory bodies like FTC and FDA impose penalties and enforce corrective actions. For this example, in 1998, Master Settlement Agreement made tobacco firms pay over 2,000 billion. The fourth one is Johnson and Johnson case. In this case, they faced lawsuits for not warning users about cancer risk linked to a talcum powder, ordered to pay billions in damages. The consequences of this case is damaged brand image, legal cost, and increased scrutiny. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Mira. Now I'm going to say about product liability. Product liability, imagine buying a product that promises safety and reliability only to find out it's defective and cause harm. What do you do? Who is responsible? Who is this where product liability comes into play? Under the Consumer Protection Act 2019, manufacturer and seller are held accountable for the harm caused by defective products. This means that if a product has a manufacturing defect, design and flow, a lack of proper warning, and companies responsible cannot escape liability. The CPA 2019 introduced strict liability, ensuring that business must take responsibility for the safety of their products. This law is a game changer. It protects consumer from fault goods and ensure companies prioritize quality and safety. Think about it. How many times have we heard of defective medicines, fault in electronics, and or say unsafe food products without strong product liability law? Consumer would be left helpless. But thanks for CPA 2019, we now have legal protection against such risks. Now here I am going to say about a case study on a product liability. Let's take a real world example. The Johnson & Johnson hip impact case. This case shocked the medical industry and highlighted the importance of strict liability on the consumer protection. Johnson & Johnson implants were supposed to improve the mobility and enhance the quality of the life of parents. Instead, they caused several pains, complications, and even required additional surgeries. Thousands of patients suffered due to this fault in implants, leading to major lawsuits and compensation claims. Under CPA 2019, such cases are no longer ignored. Consumers now have the right to seek compensation for defective products that cause harm. This cause this case serves a powerful reminder to this business must prioritize consumer safety over profits. So the next time you buy the product, remember you have right. If a product is defective, you can take action. The CPA 2019 ensure that companies are held accountable, making the market price safer for everyone. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Kavya. So I am going to explain about legal implication and redressal mechanism. So first, let's now talk about the legal implication and redressal mechanism available to consumers. First, the Central Consumers Protection Authority or CCPA plays a key role. It looks into unfair trade practices, protect consumers' rights, and can take action against companies. Next, there are clear steps for filing a consumer complaint, which includes gathering evidence, submitting the complaint either online or offline, and following up. For solving disputes, we have a three-tier system: district forms for local issues, state commission for larger complaints, and the national commission for even bigger cases. Finally, the Consumer Protection Act has made it easier by allowing consumers to file complaints online, making the whole process quicker and more accessible. So the conclusion is CPA 2019 is a significant step towards creating a fair marketplace. Second, addressing unfair trade practices and product liability. Third, encourages consumer awareness and ethical business practices. And fourth, the Act empowers consumers to take legal action against fraudulent business. Thank you.